Good morning, everyone. This is Corey here with Zero Meter Chasers. Going to give you guys an update. Hold on 1 second. Got a little heater down here, and I forgot to turn it off. It makes a lot of noise. And then let me fix this real quickly. You guys let me know how I sound. I've been trying to ask those questions when I get started. I know there's been several people talk about how they can't hear me or the volume's a little bit lower, so I want to make sure that all that is good. So if you guys don't care, let me know about that real quickly, and then we'll get started. Make sure everything's rolling here. Alrighty. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys letting me know that you can hear me. Like I said, just want to make sure all that's good to go this morning. So I'm going to give you guys an update. I know there's some disappointed people, some not so disappointed people, and that's okay. But I'm going to give you the latest information this morning. We still have that winter storm warning in effect through tomorrow morning. Now, the main reason for that, we're going to see the precipitation come to an end this afternoon. But the main reason that winter storm is going to be extended through tomorrow morning is for the overnight travel. A lot of people is going to be out. There'll be people trying to travel. So the National Weather Service will likely leave that winter storm warning in effect for highlights. So that way they can kind of highlight the treacherous travel during the overnight period and into rush hour tomorrow morning for the people that are traveling or have to be out. So they'll leave that winter storm warning in effect for impact base only. Okay. Right now there is some of the areas here in Kentucky is above freezing. I've got the Kentucky Mesonet pulled up over here beside me. I'll pull that up here in just a second. We'll kind of run through some counties so you guys can see what the current temperatures are. But basically, from Bowling Green, honestly, those temperatures are really starting to drop again. They've actually dropped since I pulled this up. So we'll look through all that here in just a second. But the areas that's currently above freezing, you're going to gradually transition back over to wintry precipitation. We still have a lot of precipitation in the area. Areas that are currently below freezing will continue to see that wintry precipitation. Today, not expecting a whole lot more on the ice accumulation. Maybe up to 1/10 of an inch. There's a couple locations that may get up to 2/10 of additional ice accumulation, but overall, not expecting any major additional ice accumulations. Snow accumulation does look light. Doesn't look like the deformation band's going to form. We'll keep an eye on that. There's still a chance that it pulls off some last-second magic. But as of right now, looking at the data, I'm not seeing any type of deformation band that really would drop a lot of snowfall accumulations on the backside of this system. Nonetheless, still expected to see some snow showers as this system exits. Could see up to 1 inch, but I'm generally thinking 1 inch or less on the snowfall accumulation as the system moves off to the east. On top of the winter storm warning that we have moving out today, we have a cold weather advisory. This is in effect through midnight tonight and goes all the way through 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We're looking at wind chills as low as -18 to -20 below zero. This is really going to increase the risk for hypothermia or frostbite without the proper precautions. There is a good chance that this is actually upgraded to a cold weather warning. As we get just a little bit closer, I could 100% see the National Weather Service upgrading this to a cold weather warning. So that's something I'm going to be watching closely. But dangerously cold weather expected, especially as we get into tonight all the way through Tuesday. Temperatures this week not expected to be above freezing. The latest forecast here from the National Weather Service, we're looking at temperature Monday night. Tonight, low temperature of 4 degrees. Will be in the single digits tonight. Tomorrow, high in the teens. Monday night, temperatures will drop below zero. That is temperatures. We will be in the negatives Monday night. High temperature on Tuesday, upper 20s. Tuesday night, low temperatures will drop into the single digits. Wednesday, highs will be in the lower 20s. Wednesday night, low temperatures below zero again into the negatives. We're looking on Thursday, high around 20. Thursday night, lows around zero. 20s on Friday, low around zero Friday night. Highs on Saturday, 22, probably close to 0 again Saturday night. So we're going to stay below freezing all the way through Saturday and probably another week after that. So whatever's out there is just going to continue to refreeze. Especially now, I know here in Greene County, we're above freezing, so we're seeing rain. All this rain, all this runoff, when we drop below freezing, all that's going to refreeze. So even though that we've kind of really dodged the bullet on the ice threat, a lot of locations here in central Kentucky receive between a quarter up to a half inch. I know there's a lot of places in Adair County, Columbia, that got close to that half inch. I'm probably not at a half inch here, but I'm probably between a quarter to a half inch here at my location. Definitely received a lot of ice. Thankfully, the thing that saved us during the overnight is we transitioned to like a freezing rain sleet mix. We wasn't 100% freezing rain the entire night up until about 2 a.m. That's what saved us last night. When we changed over to freezing rain, we had some sleet mixed back in. So like I said, it was a snow and sleet, or a sleet and freezing rain combination, and not just pure freezing rain. We got to around 2 a.m. That's when we transitioned over to full freezing rain across much of the location. Again, it's going to be different kind of where your area's at. Different story depending on where you live in the state, right? But for specifically here in Greene County, around 2 a.m. is when we transitioned over to freezing rain. We stayed freezing rain until we actually come a little bit above freezing this morning around 7 a.m. That's where we received a lot of our ice accumulation. Couple pictures out there this morning. Definitely want to shout some people out. This is Hodgenville, very beautiful ice. But look at the tree here. Look at the top of this tree in Hodgenville. See the weight of that tree? I would say that here in Hodgenville, this is 100% closer to that half inch of ice. I don't know if they necessarily got the half inch, but it's between a quarter and a half inch for sure. But if you look at the top of this tree, and thank you, Anna, for sending this in, you can definitely see the weight of the ice that's really weighing that tree down. Beautiful picture, but that's where you start to get into the dangerous category. Anything above a half inch ice, and that's what a lot of the data was showing last night. For again, the line basically from Bowling Green up to Richmond and points to the south, it was pointing towards 3/4 of an inch of ice. Thankfully, we did not receive 3/4 of an inch. The worst case scenario across that I've seen this morning is maybe up to a half inch. So that's one picture there in Hodgenville. I definitely appreciate Anna for sending that one in. This one is from Saloma, Hobson area. This is from Lauren Golden. Thank you for sending this in. Again, you can see the ice here. This is probably closer to a quarter inch, maybe a little bit more than a quarter inch. Definitely a beautiful scene, but nothing too significant there in the Saloma area. Then we go to southeastern Hart County. This is from Janie Forbes. Probably close to a quarter inch here. This probably looks just like a little bit more than a quarter inch. I don't have the ruler out there to specifically measure it, but this is definitely right at a quarter inch or just a little bit more there in the southeastern side of Hart County. So definitely appreciate that, Janie. And one of my favorite pictures is from Brittany Joe Taylor. This is actually what I looked like this morning when I realized that the forecast continues to change and I continue to get it wrong. This is me looking at the computer models as the forecast is wrong hour by hour. This is exactly how I look like. So I don't know where Brittany's at this morning. There wasn't a location, but it's definitely somewhere in the local area. But this is actually a picture of me. So thank you, Brittany, for getting that picture of me this morning. Power outages across the area. We'll go ahead and pull that up. This is the updated map here. This is from KentuckyPowerOutage.com. Kind of shows different areas here across the state. Here in Greene County, we have 612 customers out. That's about 8% of the county. If you look towards the south, the southern Kentucky area, this is where the power outages really increased. This is where the ice was probably a little bit higher. I really didn't get any pictures out of Metcalfe and Barron County and down in Clinton County, but you look, Barron County, 27% of the county is without power this morning. You look down here in Monroe County, 27% of Monroe County is out of power. Let's see here. So I want to know if it had a total for the state. I'm sure I could find that here in just a second, but we'll look at that in a minute. Taylor County, about 4% of the county is without power, only 491 customers. Greene County, 612 customers out. Hart County's at 12% outage, 1,300 customers out of power. You look down here in McQuarrie County, 3,000, almost 40% of the counties without power. Pulaski County, a lot of customers out of power in Pulaski County, 11,000 people. So you really see where that ice zone really set up. And again, if you look at the map, it's basically a Bowling Green a Bowling Green to Richmond line and points to the south. Now again, thankfully we did not see that 3/4 inches of ice that we definitely could have seen if we stayed all freezing rain and not flipped between freezing rain and sleet. But nonetheless, you guys can see what a quarter to a half inch of ice is doing, especially to these counties just south of Greene and Taylor County. So definitely not good for sure, because the temperatures are going to drop tonight. But the linemen are out there working. The utility workers are out there working. They're doing their best, obviously, with the conditions at hand. It's more hazardous for them. It's going to take them a little bit longer to get everything restored, but they're out there working. They're doing their best. They'll get it restored with time. So just have a little patience with them. And until we get to, if you don't have power, until that power is restored, just do what you can to stay warm. If you have alternative heat, throw that on. If you don't, and you could get to a neighbor's house safely, maybe reach out to a neighbor, somebody that's close that maybe does have power. I know if power's out, if power's out at my house, typically my neighbor's not going to have power either. But maybe somebody that's 5 to 10 minutes away. If you can safely get there, do so. If you don't think you can safely get there, obviously just do the best you can. Wrap up in some blankets. Hug your loved ones. Give everybody a big hug, and do what you can to stay warm until they get that power rolled on. I'm not expecting any long-term power outages or anything like that, but it will take some time to get those get the power back up and restored. So like I said, if you don't have power, just hang tight. They're out there working. They're doing their best. Just keep your linemen, utility workers, everybody in your prayers. It's a big deal for them, and they're trying their best to get everything restored. So let's throw up the Mesonet here real quick. We'll look at some of the temperatures. And I didn't do it by map. We're going to do it by location. So Taylor County is now, let me make sure this is right. Taylor County is now dropped below freezing. This is the Bengal Mesonet site. So this weather station is in Bengal, right there on the Greene-Taylor County line in Taylor County. They have now dropped below freezing. So this colder air is now working its way back in. So the northern parts of Greene and Taylor County is now dropped below freezing. So if you are seeing rain at your location, that's now back to freezing rain. So you're going to start to see that ice accumulate once again. Not expecting anything significant, maybe up to a tenth. You'll probably start to see some sleet and snow mixed in as well. Hart County. I mean, these two weather stations are maybe 15 miles apart, 10, 12 miles apart. We're at 29 or 26.9 degrees in Hart County. So that's a 4-degree difference in about 12 miles. You look at LaRue County here. LaRue County is at 23 degrees. So from LaRue County to Bengal is 24 degrees in LaRue. It's about 6 degrees difference between LaRue and Greene County. So that cold air is coming in quick. All the Bowling Green's below freezing. You got two Mesonet stations in Bowling Green. They're both sitting at 29. Barron County sitting at 28.9. Metcalfe County's just above freezing, but not by much. They're 32.4. Our Greene County Mesonet site in the southern part of the county is at 32.5. So we're half a degree above freezing. That's going to drop here probably within the hour. Once you drop below freezing, you're going to start to see, freezing rain. Even though it looks like rain, it's going to be freezing rain. So a lot of people are confused with that wintry precipitation type. Again, it's the main thing is, what is your temperature at the surface? So if you have a thermometer at your house, if it's 32 degrees and you look outside and it's raining, that's freezing rain. If you're 32 degrees or under, if you're 32 degrees or above, like this Mesonet station here is in Greene County, 32.5, that's going to be rain at that weather station. Now, once it drops below 32, that's freezing rain because it's falling and freezing on contact. Lebanon, I see, who said that? Mike, yeah, 28 degrees in Lebanon. The Mesonet site in Marion County is in the northern part of the county. They're at 22.7. The Mesonet station in Marion County is closer to the Marion-Washington County line in the northwest side of the county. Hardin County, already down to 18 degrees. Litchfield, 20 degrees. And then you look over here in western Kentucky. We'll just go a little bit farther. Webster County, 13. This is in western Kentucky, close to Paducah's, 13 degrees. We go back here into central Kentucky. Adair County's 8.8 of a degree above freezing, so they're getting closer back to that freezing precipitation. Cumberland County's a little bit warmer than the rest of us, 33.2. Clinton County's 32.5, so the warmer areas definitely extends a little bit more to the east. Casey County 32.6, but all these temperatures are within a rock throw of freezing, and this colder air is coming. It's coming, and it's coming in quick. So, like I said, Taylor County's already dropped below freezing. If we look at the graphs here, let me see what they was. Yeah, so in the last 15 minutes, Taylor County has dropped 1 degree in the last 15 minutes. At 10 o'clock, I guess that's the last 20 minutes. At 10 o'clock, they was 32.5. And now they are at 31.5. And we'll get an update here in 1 minute. It's a 5-minute refresh. So here in just 1 minute, we'll get another update. We'll see how much it's dropped in 1 minute, or in the last 5 minutes. From 31.5, we'll see what it does when it updates. I'll keep you guys updated with that when it comes in. So let's pull up the radar. We'll give you guys a live radar update. I'm actually going to show you the Clarksville site. So if we zoom out here, there's still a lot of precipitation that's ongoing back here to the west. So all this precipitation that we have back here is still going to be rolling into the central Kentucky area. So we're not done with this winter storm, even though that it's not really played out like any of us thought it would. And we've really been on the lower amounts of every forecasted amount that we put out there. We still have several hours of this winter storm, especially with the temperatures dropping back below freezing. So if you look here across the state, a lot of this is going to be freezing rain, but let me go back here and look at Memphis real quick. I want to see. So yeah, there is an end in sight. This is kind of where the end of the winter storm is, somewhere around this area. We'll probably see some precipitation fill in a little bit, but nothing significant. So like I said, it's 10:30 now, so about another 3 to 4 hours sounds about right before this winter storm kind of wraps up. So that's what we're going to be looking at. You guys see the rain and snow line, and that's about right based off what we just looked at. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Right here's that rain and snow line on the radar. And again, the Bengal site is about right here in Green Taylor County. Right here. Let me kind of refresh that here. I'll zoom in just a little bit. Bengal might pop up. Yeah, Bengal's right here. Right here's where that Mesonet site is. If you look at the radar, it shows the freezing rain line just north of that. This will correct south once it realizes the surface temperature is below freezing. So that freezing line is moving its way back to the south. You can kind of see it's wavy right there. See how it jumps down to Bengal and then jumps back up? That's the radar figuring out where that freezing line is. It will continue to adjust to the south as we progress. I'm looking at the Mesonet site now. In the last 5 minutes, that's wild. The last 5 minutes, the Bengal Mesonet site in Taylor County dropped another degree. It went from 31.5 at 10:15 to 30.1 at 10:20. So that dropped 1.4 degrees in 5 minutes. That's wild. That is wild. So that cold air is coming. It is coming. So we are going to transition back over to wintry precipitation. I'm curious to see where Greene County sets. The Greene County is 31.6, so it's still setting. But that cold air is coming. So I would say that there's a good bet that the northern part of Greene and Taylor County has now dropped below freezing. If I had to guess, I would guess that freezing line is somewhere right here. So, again, that wintry precipitation will pick back up. Sorry, I had the screen on the wrong thing here. But right here's where I think that freezing line actually is, somewhere along this area right here. That would include the northern part of Greene and Taylor County. And like I said, that cold air is coming. And once it transitions back over, we'll see that ice. You'll see your ice amounts pick back up. Roads will become treacherous again, as if they are already. But it will add to the hazardous conditions out there. Again, not expecting major ice accumulations today, maybe up to an additional tenth of an inch. And then snow and sleet accumulations an inch or less. That's what I'm expecting for additional accumulations area-wide. There's a chance we get some stronger snow or some heavier snow back here if we transition back over as this system exits. But we'll keep an eye on that to see how the rest of this system plays out. Like I said, I'm not expecting anything crazy. Maybe it'll pull off a last-second Houdini magic and give us, a couple inches of snow on the backside. But I'm not expecting that at this time. Current data here, let me see. We'll look at, pull up the latest HRRR model, if I've got the right thing up. Here we go. Boom. And let me fix this real quick. Here we go. Okay, I knew there was something else that I hadn't pressed yet. So, this is the latest HRRR model. Let me make sure it's updated. 15Z, and that is right. 10 o'clock a.m. So this is basically what the radar looks like right now, which is pretty similar. You look at the Greene-Taylor County area, that pink is right there about where what I was talking about with that colder air coming in. We get into 11 o'clock. The HRRR model is expecting Greene and Taylor County to transition back over to freezing rain. And like I said, part of those counties have already transitioned back over. And one more time, I want to make sure everybody's aware of this. Not expecting anything crazy as far as additional ice accumulations today. I'm expecting up to an additional tenth of an inch. Outside of that, not expecting to see anything more than that, because if you see right behind the freezing rain is this purple area. This is the sleet. This is going to be that colder air fighting back in. We transition over to sleet, according to the HRRR model. Adair County transitions over back to freezing rain up to Liberty, all the way up to Lexington. That freezing line slowly continues to make its way to the south and east. By 1 o'clock p.m., getting into the Somerset area, the Greene-Taylor County, Bowling Green, up to E-Town, over to Lexington. This is probably going to be a snow-sleet mix at this time. A snow-sleet mix. Then it's kind of going back over to freezing rain. So again, this is going to kind of go back and forth. This is going to be a fight between the warm and cold air until we get to around 3 o'clock p.m. The system finally starts to move out. We transition back over to fully to sleet and snow with a little bit of backside snow, and that is all she wrote by this evening. So depending on how much warm air is above you, you're going to go back over to freezing rain, probably back over to a sleet freezing rain mix, maybe some snow mixed in, and then we'll gradually get back over to sleet, snow combined as this system exits. Ice amounts total. Let me pull up one more thing on the model data. I'll show you guys the NAM model. Let's show you the. This is the 3K. This is the more advanced definition of the NAM model. Let me make sure I got the right time, which is about right here. So that's about right. That freezing line is right there across Greene-Taylor County, transitioning over to freezing rain. That's what the NAM is showing at 11 o'clock, which is about 30 minutes, and that's what it's currently showing right now. The high-resolution NAM model has us going back straight to sleet. So the NAM model doesn't really show a lot of freezing rain. It shows sleet, and then it kind of shows some dry air. I don't know if we get some dry air mixed in, so we'll watch that. And then a little bit of backside snow on the backside of that system. So if we see this area down here, if you look on the 3K NAM down here from Clarksville to Paducah, if this does not dry out, if this stays precipitation, we might actually get maybe a couple inches of snow on the backside of this system, because the NAM model has it transitioning back fully over to snow. It's showing the thermal profiles above pretty much all of central Kentucky being in support for snow. But we'll see how that evolves as we progress here over the next couple hours. So again, I'm not expecting anything crazy. Again, same thing that I said earlier. I'm expecting up to an additional tenth of an inch of ice and maybe an inch or less of snow. Nothing significant for the remaining of this winter storm. Nothing significant as far as additional accumulations. So again, here is our ice amounts, and this is total ice accumulations. This is the updated ice forecast. So again, anybody in the red, it's pretty accurate. Anything between a quarter up to a half inch. So nobody really seen those amounts up to 3/4 of an inch, which is that's what we're very thankful for. A couple things for that is last night. The first thing that we had that helped us out is when we transitioned over to freezing rain, we actually did not fully transition over to fully rain. We did it first, and then we kind of transitioned back over to freezing rain sleet mix. That was the first thing that helped us. The second thing that helped us this morning was we actually rose above freezing across a lot of this area in the red here. A lot of the area in the red, the warm air really pushed up to the north, pushes just above freezing. That actually changed us over to a plain rain. So that saved us about 3 hours of additional ice accumulations, which very well could have ended up being up to another quarter inch. So those two things really saved our behinds as far as really experiencing a dangerous ice storm. Nonetheless, all of this area in the red received anywhere between a quarter up to a half inch of freezing rain. The official definition of an ice storm is anything over a quarter inch. So pretty much everybody in this red experienced a ice storm. It didn't reach the dangerous levels like we were forecasting last night, but that is a good thing. We still experienced an ice storm. There's still plenty of power outages out there. There's still a lot of tree damage. A lot of people sent me tree damage pictures. Like I said, it's not anything that's been catastrophic or anything like that, but nonetheless, we definitely were spared to an extent last night on that. So with that being said, I'm going to answer a few questions here. I'm going to flip it back over to the radar. That way you guys can kind of see what is actually going on here. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We'll switch it back to the Louisville radar here. We should have another update from the Kentucky Mesonet. And that's unbelievable. Here, I'm watching the Taylor County Mesonet site. Let me pull that up for you guys here real quick. This is Taylor County Mesonet. Sorry, hang on. Let me go back here. Maybe not. Oh, my bad. I know what I'm doing wrong. Here we go. Or maybe I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What is going on? Why is this not pulling up? Here, I'll fix it. No, here we go. That's why it's not pulling up. I've got it on two different screens. Golly. Sorry. I've got it sourced for my bottom left screen, and I'm looking at it at my top left screen. So Taylor County, this is the Mesonet site in Taylor County. I just want to read these readings off to you guys here. Make sure this is right. No, that's Warren County. Give me 1 second here. Let me take it back here. Graphs on the Taylor County site. Okay. Taylor County at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock slow time, 11 o'clock Eastern. We're going to talk Eastern because Taylor County is on Eastern. At 11 o'clock, the Taylor County Mesonet site in Bingo was at 32.5. 32.5. It has dropped to 27 degrees in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes. That's crazy. It's almost 5 degree temperature drop in 30 minutes. So, absolutely wild stuff. Greene County Mesonet site is down 0.2, down to 32.4. Adair County's went down just a little bit at 32.7. Metcalfe County's at 32.2. Hart County's 27.5. And then Casey County's at 32.3. So Casey County's dropped just a little bit as well. So pull the radar back up, and like I said, I will ask a few questions or answer a few questions. Just watching those temperatures there, as we'll see a transition back over to wintry precipitation. Yeah, Tara, please stand by for technical difficulties. Yeah. Sometimes I'm get a little discombobulated over here. Yeah, Adair County temperature, I think I just said that there, Amanda. I'll get you again, though. The Adair County Mesonet site is 32.7. And yeah, that's something else I want to touch on too there, Amanda. Your phone, the temperature you see on your phone is automated from a computer. There's literally no human interaction with that. It's guessing what the temperature is based off the computer data that it has. The Mesonet is real-time data that's updated every 5 minutes, and that's something else. How often is your phone updated with that weather information? Is it once every hour? Is it twice an hour? I don't know. Those are questions that nobody really knows. But the Mesonet site is updated every 5 minutes, and I know that there's typically only one in every county, but it kind of gives you an idea on where that freezing line is and how fast that freezing line's coming in. So Adair County's at 32.7. We'll get another update here. Should be right now here in just a second. Let's see if Taylor County drops anymore. That's what I'm really curious about. Or 27.9. So that should be updated here in just a second. All right, again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the comments section. A lot of people asking for additional snow. Probably not. We'll probably see some snow showers this afternoon. I'm expecting an inch or less of additional snowfall. Susie's reporting 4 trees down across our lane in Russell County. So again, that's just south of our area. A lot of the counties south of Green-Taylor County, especially in southern Kentucky, probably received closer to a half-inch of ice. Jake's reporting sleet in Hart County now. So that confirms that line moving through in Hart County Mesonet site. And it's on the Hart County Mesonet station is on the eastern side, and they're at 27.8. So I would almost definitely say that all of Hart County is below freezing. Taylor County is down to 27.5, so not as big of a drop. June, the temperature in Marion County right now, again, it's in the northwestern side, kind of on the Washington-Marion County line, and it's at 23.8. I would say the majority of Marion County is below freezing with the exception of the southwest side. Tara's reporting sleet in Summersville. So, yeah, the northern part of Greene County is probably for sure already transitioned over. The southern half of the county will transition over here in the next little bit. Carla's reporting a large tree come down in LaRue County about an hour ago. Christina's reporting freezing rain in Raywick. Mercedes is reporting sleet in Bradfordsville, and that's going to be on the Marion-Taylor County line. Brittany, as far as the wintry precipitation moving out of Metcalfe County, it'll be later on this afternoon. Again, let's go back over here. I'm going to hit this one more time. This kind of gives everybody an idea of what to expect on the time front. if I can figure out what I'm doing. Here we go. Lord. I'll get it right eventually, guys. This is the simulated radar. I got a lot of people asking questions and stuff about when stuff's going to move out of the area. So this is basically at 11 a.m. This is kind of what's going on right now. That freezing rain and sleet is going to continue, kind of go back and forth. This is 1 p.m. Central Time. This is 2 p.m. Central Time. 3 p.m. Central Time is when we finally kind of see the ending. You see it back over here in Bowling Green around 3 p.m. This is kind of when the freezing rain and sleet really starts to wind down over much of the area. We transition over to maybe an hour or so of snow, and then that is the end of the system. So we will be fully cleared out of all wintry precipitation by about 5 p.m. unless there's some additional snow showers that develop on later on tonight. But I'm not expecting that right now. Melissa's reporting freezing rain uh, on Taylor Cox Hill. Got sleet and Mac. Thanks, Russell. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Aaron, that's a good one right there, Aaron. I like that. Yeah, that is something else I do want to talk about. Somebody mentioned the parkways. So if you look up here, just to the north, for anybody that's watching from the Parkway area, look at the heavier amounts that's kind of showing up just north of the parkways. As this sleet line transitions to the south, this is where you'll really pick up on snowfall accumulations up here in this area. So areas that's north of us towards the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways, you might be able to pick up an additional, say, one to two, maybe 3 inches before this thing ends up there in that area. And this would include parts of Bardstown, maybe the northern part of LaRue County there, Hardin County, Elizabethtown. Those type areas could 100% get one more good little run of snowfall before it all ends. But down here in the central part of the state, I just don't see that being feasible unless we really get that freezing line to drop to the south. We get that warm air out of here. I think that warm air is going to stick around above us, though. It'll be a freezing rain, sleet, snow mix before it ends. Yes, 100% Anna. Thanks to all the first responders, linemen, everyone working endlessly, keeping us safe. 100%. Hats off to them and thank you guys. Hannah, as far as snow accumulations, I mean, I would say here in Greene County we got 2 to 3 inches of snow and sleet, and at least a quarter inch of ice, probably closer to a half inch, but for sure a quarter inch. Your amounts is going to differ depending on where you're at. I know that's what we got here in Greene County. Everybody else is going to be sporadic, but the snowfall really really disappointing. Can't say that enough. The whole storm's disappointing from a forecast perspective. As the storm come in, we expected everything to be snow. I expected anywhere between 4 to 6 inches right off the get on Saturday before we transitioned over to a sleet freezing rain mix, and we just didn't get the heavier moisture, the heavier snowfall that we expected to see on Saturday. That first wave was a lot weaker from a precipitation standpoint. We had some dry air that got involved. It's pretty much all of central Kentucky, and this is something I mentioned on my live on Friday. I said this is going to be our window of opportunity to get snowfall accumulation. If we do not, if we underperform on the Saturday morning into Saturday night, and we don't get the 4 to 6 inches, you're probably not going to get much snowfall. But almost every piece of data was showing 4 to 6 inches easily, higher amounts north. So it was hard to go against that. Obviously, that didn't work out. Then we got into last night. We transitioned basically from a potential snowstorm that didn't happen into a potential ice storm. The forecast for the ice storm was a lot more correct than the snowstorm part for sure. Still didn't get as much ice as I thought we would. I thought we would go well over. I thought most of everybody would get half an inch easy, with some locations getting three quarters of an inch. Luckily, that did not happen. And like I said, a couple reasons for that is last night, when a lot of the areas changed over to freezing rain, they actually transitioned back over to a freezing rain sleet mix. That definitely helped with the freezing rain amounts. And then on top of that, a lot of this area here that I'm showing you on radar right now, this area right here in the green, this was kind of the ground zero showing up on the modeling data yesterday. You see the majority of this is in the green today. They have risen above freezing. We've been above freezing pretty much in this entire circle since probably about 7 a.m. and it's going on 11 o'clock. So that's 4 hours that I expected freezing rain to continue. So you add an additional 4 hours of freezing rain in this location, you're going to go over half an inch of ice. So that is two of the saving graces that happened last night. We're going to be thankful for that, and I'm going to be thankful that I missed that forecast, because you guys see the power outages out there this morning. You see some of the trees, how they were weighed down before we transitioned over to just a plain rain. So that's a couple things that made the forecast go, that were wrong with the forecast going into this morning. And then we really expected to see a deformation band form on the backside of this system. Anytime you get a deformation band, you're looking at heavy snowfall rates, potentially one inch per hour. You typically would get at least 2 hours of snow. That would give everybody roughly 2 to 3 inches, depending on how heavy the rates are. That didn't happen. So there's pretty much everything that could have went wrong, and that's why this winter storm's been pretty much a bust from a forecasting perspective. Still a very impactful winter storm by no means. Hazardous travel, lots of ice, power outages. But as far as anything being historical, no, it's probably not going to be a historical winter storm like what all the modeling data was showing, what all the forecasters was predicting. So, and that's okay. The thing about the weather is, and there's a lot of negative comments, a lot of people, coming out of the woodwork, and that's fine. I slept on it last night. Yesterday, there were some things that aggravated me, and probably because I haven't had a lot of sleep. But the thing about the weather is, and I'll say this publicly too. Some people know this, some people don't. This is going into my Corey, not really a rant, but Corey's Corner, story time with Corey. A lot of people know growing up, one of the people that I really looked up to as a weatherman, meteorologist, was Chris Allen. He's the reason I do this today. I grew up, I watched him and Shane from the time they was on TV until the time they left. Those were the people that I loved watching. I wanted to be just like them when I got older. And as we've gotten older, there's some disagreements between me and Chris now, but I still respect the world out of Chris. And I was listening to him this morning, and the one thing he said this morning is he's kind of in the same situation I am. Obviously, the forecast didn't work out, and it's just part of life. The thing about the weather, it does not discriminate. It's exactly what Chris Allen said. 100% agree with him. The weather does not discriminate. Nobody has control over it, and that's exactly how it should be. No matter what anybody says or what anybody thinks, the weather has no discrimination. Nobody can control it, and it does what it wants. And that's part of the fun in this. Everybody that's a meteorologist in the forecasting world, they just don't do it because for no reason. They do it because they enjoy it. They enjoy the challenge of trying to figure this out and giving the best information to you guys. We're going to be wrong. It's predicting the future, okay? That doesn't excuse the horrible forecast. Obviously, I've got to get better. I need to look at things from a different perspective. And instead of, going with the models, I need to go with my gut a little bit more, because my gut was telling me it was going to get burned. If anybody was listening to our Twitter spaces, you guys heard me say that a lot. We get burned every single time when this warm air is involved. So that's something I've got to work on. Obviously, we're going to look at that we're going to make better forecasts in the future. This winter's been a nightmare for me. Almost every forecast I've put out this winter has been wrong. It's been an absolute nightmare. But that's just part of it. We're going to be wrong, and I definitely appreciate you guys sticking with me. Even through the tough times, sticking with me, and through adversity here, and we'll get better. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to continue to do what I do, even with all the negative naysayers. That's absolutely fine. I know what industry I'm in. I know that there's going to be negative people. I've done a lot better over the years of not letting people get to me. So, but there's a lot of people still. It's hard when there's a lot of people coming at you. This goes for anybody. Even if you're not in the weather industry, if you got a lot of people that's just coming at you negatively, constantly, it's going to wear you down eventually. So I'm trying to do better with that. There was a few comments yesterday that really got under my skin, but I'm doing much better today. I know that's part of this industry, right? If you're wrong, you're going to know about it, and that's 100% fine. I accept that. I'm going to take that, and that's 100% okay. But I just want you guys to know, just stick with me. I know a lot of you will. I appreciate you. We're going to get better. And as far as all the negative naysayers, I love all you guys too. You guys keep me humble. And in this profession, you have to stay humble. You cannot get a big head. You can't get overly cocky. You've got to stay humble. So I do appreciate you guys, because that does keep me humble. And everybody needs a good humbling every now and then. So that's story time with Corey this morning. Back to the weather. And I appreciate all your comments. I'm reading through them all again. I appreciate all you guys. So yeah, I know a lot of you guys. I know there's a lot more people that appreciate what I do versus don't appreciate what I do, and that's what I'm here for. I love the community. I love you guys. I'm doing this, so you guys are informed with the latest information. So I try to do the best I can. Sometimes it's just wrong. So along with every meteorologist in the state, I don't think there was anybody that was right. So if you hate me, you hate everybody. Okay, does anybody have any more questions? I'm getting a lot of school questions. I'm sure a lot of the schools will be closed tomorrow. There's just too many side roads that is covered. Again, we're still expecting winter precipitation this afternoon. That's going to add to what's going on. And then on top of that, we're going to have temperatures. What did I say the low was for tonight? I know tomorrow's when it drops into the single digits. Low temperature tonight of 4. Wind chills are going to be -14, -18. I don't think there's any school Monday or Tuesday just based off the temperatures alone, probably. But again, the superintendents will make the best choice for their respective school systems. I don't make those decisions. If there is some time to time throughout the years where superintendents will reach out to me, ask for advice, I give that to them. They still make those respective decisions. They're going to make those decisions of what they believe is best for their specific school system. They all have a hard job. They're not going to put anybody in danger. Yeah, Erica, you're right. That some of the negative naysayers are going to be back around too. Yes, Chris. Or the areas above 32 that's seeing rain. Yes, pretty much everybody's going to transition back below freezing. You'll transition over to a little bit of freezing rain, and then back over to some sleet and snow as the system exits. But again, I'll pull this up here real quick. Let me get this graphic up here. Because I definitely want this to be kind of the emphasis right now. Winter storm warning remains in effect through Monday morning, and again, even though the precipitation is going to end this afternoon, the National Weather Service is more than likely going to leave this winter storm warning in effect through Monday morning, because the travel during the overnight period is going to be hazardous. The travel during tomorrow morning's typical rush hour is going to be hazardous. So they're probably going to leave this winter storm warning in effect, basically from an impact statement. That way everybody's kind of aware, like, hey, there's still going to be wintry impacts. Whereas if you let a warning expire, people might drop their guard down, kind of overlook that, hey, there's still hazardous conditions out there. Wintry precipitation is going to continue in areas that's below freezing, which right now we're looking at the Kentucky Mesonet site. Pretty much everybody is below freezing. Greene County is now below freezing, the whole county. Greene County's Mesonet site just dropped to 30.3 degrees. So Greene County, all of Greene County is back below freezing. Adair County's at 32.6. Metcalfe County is also below freezing. They're at 30.8. 30.8. Cumberland County is at 32.6. Monroe County is at 32.5. So areas that's above freezing, you're going to continue to see that rain, but we're going to gradually transition back to wintry precipitation. Additional amounts, I'm expecting an additional up to a tenth of an inch of additional ice accumulation. Again, not expecting anything major on the ice front today, but up to an additional tenth of an inch is possible. And then snow accumulations do look light, but I'm expecting an inch or less. So around an inch or less. You could see a dusting. You could see up to an inch. There's a slight chance, depending on how this evolves, that we get some heavier snows, and we might get a little bit more than an inch. Nothing significant. But right now, that's my forecast. Snow accumulations do look light, an inch or less. And yes, Melissa, 100%. The extreme cold is what's going to be our next order of business. And again, we have this cold weather advisory. This is in effect through midnight tonight through 11 a.m. on Tuesday. And during that time period, wind chills as low as negative 18 to negative 20 below zero. This is going to be a big deal. This is probably more dangerous than the weather that's coming in for the remainder of the day, to be honest with you. A risk of hypothermia or frostbite without proper precautions. This is probably going to be upgraded to a cold weather warning. We will probably see that from the National Weather Service either later this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning, but I definitely think we're going to get upgraded to a cold weather warning at some point. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate your compliment there. Ray, you have a good point, Ray. Ray Sherrill, I want to point this out. Thank you. This has always been my motto. Would you rather have the worst case scenario and prepare for it, or the smallest chance of any ice or snow and it do nothing and it get worse? I would rather prepare for the worst. It's always been my motto. I always prepare for the worst and hope for the best, because what if we did get, say, what if we got what was forecasted? What if we got 4 to 6 inches and then we got 3/4 of an inch of ice? What if we have more power outages? The temperature is going to drop. That's 100% coming. Now you have 4 to 6 inches of snow and sleet with over a half inch of ice, and it's not going to be, we're not going to have above freezing temperatures for close to 2 weeks. Would you rather be prepared for that, or would you rather not be prepared at all and you be stuck with nothing in a situation like that? I would always rather be prepared for the best, or for the worst, and then hope for the best, especially with a household with 2 kiddos in it. So I know a lot of you people have families out there as well that live under your household. I'm always, in my mindset's different. I've always been under the emergency management mindset of prepare, probably over prepare. And, if nothing happens, so be it. I was ready for it. It's kind of one of those moments. You can take that analogy however you want to do it. It's the same way with sports. You prepare your body. You prepare. You do all this practice. You practice outside. I'm going to speak basketball. You shoot on the goal outside at home. You run to get yourself in shape at home. When you go to school, when I was in school, I took a weightlifting class. I never played basketball because I wasn't good enough. But, you done weightlifting in class. You shot basketball in the gym. You do all this preparations. If you're an athlete on the high school team or middle school team, whatever it may be, you do all this practice. You prepare for those tough battles. And if those tough battles never come, hey, you was ready. You done everything you can. It just didn't work out, or you never did face those battles. But there's going to be a day where those battles come, and when it comes, I always want to be the most prepared. That way, I'm ready. So it's kind of how I look at things. It's 100% right, Don. I asked the naysayers who did get this storm right. Everybody got it wrong. We all took a loss on this one, no matter how you look at it. Everybody took a loss. The whole state. North to south. You name it, they took a loss. Mark Weinberg, Chris Bailey, Jim Caldwell, Chris Allen, Ryan Hall. We all took big L's. Everybody got it wrong. Some will be closer than others, but we all got it wrong. Tara, as far as another storm, I haven't really looked. Let me look and see if there's anything. There was one kind of like a weak clipper system that was showing up midweek, as far as like maybe some additional snowfall, but I think that has kind of gone away. I do want to look at it this morning to see if there's anything else that has kind of popped up. Yeah, there is a chance for some light snow showers on Wednesday, but it looks mainly for the eastern part of Kentucky, say like right along the Kentucky-Ohio border, Kentucky-West Virginia border. Outside of that, I don't really see nothing popping up. There was another storm that was showing up for next weekend. It does look like there's some scattered snow showers possible next weekend, but nothing crazy. So that's definitely some good news. Let me see if there's anything on the European model. Let's see here. Yeah, the European model has nothing on Wednesday. It has nothing next weekend. So that's at least a little bit of good news. I know there's people that's wanting a bigger storm, but that's pretty much we'll see how it all plays out. Okay. With that being said, guys, I'll just give one more update here on the radar. Let me switch back to it. Give one more radar update, and then I'll end this live video for right now. This is the current radar right now. You're slowly seeing that freezing line move to the south. Get updated here. And you see Greene and Taylor County is now fully back in the freezing rain zone. So that freezing line is really pushing back to the south. So now we're back in the freezing rain here in the Greene Taylor County area, all the way up to Marion County, Hart County, down into Barron, Metcalfe, all the way down to Scottsville, Franklin, and the eastern side of Warren County. That freezing line is going to continue to push to the south and east. If you look back here to the north, and this is something we're going to watch, you see these heavier snow amounts. If we can get this snow to really push this way, instead of us just hanging out with sleet and freezing rain, we might be able to get a couple inches back out of the system as it ends. But I'm not sure about that. We're going to see how that evolves here over the next little bit. We look down here to the south too, because again, you got to look back here, because anything back here is what's going to be moving into our area as well. So there's still a decent amount of precipitation back here. We switch to the Paducah radar site. Not really a whole lot going on back there. Maybe a little bit. If you look back here in Missouri, you see a little bit more snow picking up. So we'll have to see how the radar kind of picks up here over the next little bit. But that is a chance. But here is my official forecast one more time before we end the live stream. Winter storm warning remains in effect through Monday morning, and that is mainly because the National Weather Service wants to throw out impacts Even after the winter storm ends, we're still going to be dealing with hazardous roadway conditions during the overnight period and into tomorrow morning. So that wintry precipitation is going to continue in areas that are below freezing, and that line is slowly moving to the south and east. Areas that's currently above freezing, which again is basically from areas, say, like from Columbia and Liberty and points to the east. You will gradually transition back to that wintry precipitation. Additional ice amounts up to 1/10 of an inch is possible. Not expect anything wild on the ice accumulations, but that's additional ice amounts up to 1/10 of an inch. And then snow accumulation that does appear to be light, looking at around an inch or less. Higher amounts toward the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways, I think they could get some heavier snow. They could get 1 to 2 inch amounts up there. But as far as south of the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways, I'm expecting an inch or less. Still an outside shot. We might get a little bit over an inch, say 1 to 2, depending on how the rest of today evolves. But overall, I'm expecting an inch or less. So with that being said, I might do another live update here in an hour or so, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I'll definitely be paying attention to what unfolds for the remainder of the day. So again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate your support. Stay warm. It's going to get cold. That's the biggest threat that we're looking at. It's going to get cold, and it's going to be dangerously cold. That's something that I can 100% say we're going to get right with this storm. So again, appreciate y'all's support. Love all y'all. Be safe.